When we think of dinosaurs, we immediately picture giant, bloodthirsty reptiles, apex predators that ruled the Earth for over 150 million years. However, if we look a little further back to when it all began, we uncover a surprising truth. There was a time when dinosaurs were not the dominant force on Earth. During that era, dinosaurs were merely small, fragile creatures, forced to hide and constantly flee. Just as humans once lived in the shadow of predatory beasts, the early dinosaurs had to bow before other dominant rulers. A brutal and fearsome group of predators creatures that pushed the boundaries of savagery to the extreme. In that ancient world, there were only two options: hunt or be hunted. Today's documentary is not about dinosaurs, but about the only creatures that ever completely dominated them wherever the two coexisted. They were the harbingers of a true age of monsters. The Triassic period was the first era of the Mesozoic era, beginning 252 million years ago and ending 201 million years ago, lasting around 51 million years. At that time, our planet was a harsh place. All land masses had merged into a single gigantic supercontinent, Pangaea, stretching from the North Pole to the South. The air was hot and dry. Vast, barren lands were dotted only with sparse ferns and low, ancient pine forests scattered across deserts. Dinosaurs at that time were not the towering giants we know today. They were slender, bipedal creatures, no taller than a human, living sparsely in arid regions. In such conditions, creatures with thick skin, low bodies, and high heat tolerance held the upper hand. And it was these traits that allowed ancient crocodilians to rise as the true rulers of the land. The true dominators of Earth belonged to a colossal group of predatory reptiles known as Pseudosaucia. One of the earliest rulers was Carnufex, ominously nicknamed the Carolina Butcher. When Carnufex roamed the land, dinosaurs had not yet taken control of the planet. It was a transitional phase between the Middle and Late Triassic, a time when primitive crocodilians sat atop the food chain. But Carnufex was no ordinary crocodile. Scientists describe it as a blend between a crocodile and a predatory dinosaur, a strange and deadly hybrid. Carnufex measured 10 ft long, stood nearly 5 ft tall, and weighed over 550 lbs. It had an upright stance, a lean yet muscular body with thick, steel-like armored scales. It had a raised neck, a large head, and a narrow, blade-like snout, an ideal design for fast and deep biting. Its back and neck were shielded by flat, bony plates, forming a natural armor against attacks. Unlike modern crocodiles that dwell in water and move slowly, Carnufex was a land predator with long, agile hind legs, developed hip joints, and thick thigh muscles traits built for sprinting. It could reach speeds of up to 25 km/h within seconds and, most notably, stood upright on two legs like a theropod dinosaur. Its skull bore serrated teeth, a feature later seen in carnivorous dinosaurs like Allosaurus and T-Rex. Small reptiles, early mammals, and even primitive dinosaurs were all part of its feast. In an age when dinosaurs were still small, Carnufex was nature's first experiment in the two-legged monster model, fast, powerful, and extremely dangerous. While Carnufex was striking terror in ancient North America, across the other side of the Pangaean supercontinent, modern-day Brazil, another monster was rising. Larger, more brutal, and the next evolutionary step in the Triassic era's line of apex crocodilian predators. Paleontologists call it Prestosuchus, also known by its fearsome nickname, the Brazilian Killer. This dinosaur-headed, crocodile-bodied predator reached nearly 23 ft in length, weighed around 880 lbs, and was a carnivore with sharp teeth and a long tail, preying mostly on smaller animals. Fossils show that Prestosuchus had an open hip socket, a rare feature among ancient crocodiles that allowed its legs to position directly under its body instead of splaying to the sides. This adaptation gave it longer strides, faster movement, and better balance during attacks. Its skull measured between 22 and 24 and much larger than that of Carnufex. The skull was thick and reinforced, with tightly connected joints designed to withstand an immense bite force estimated at 6,000 to 8,000 newtons, equivalent to that of a modern Nile crocodile. Its teeth were curved like blades with fine serrations along the edges, allowing it to slice flesh like a saw. And unlike Carnufex, Prestosuchus had more tightly spaced, interlocking teeth, creating a meat-sawing effect, a trait found only in top-tier predators. Along Prestosuchus's back ran a line of bony armor plates stretching from neck to tail. Though not as thick as in modern crocodiles, they provided sufficient protection against bites and blows from rivals. Fossils of Prestosuchus have been primarily discovered in the Santa Maria Formation, an ancient sedimentary deposit rich with the remains of herbivores like the dinosaur Saurosuchus and surviving Permian dicynodonts. This indicates that Prestosuchus sat at the top of the food chain, preying on both early dinosaurs and herbivorous reptiles, creatures that all others steered clear of. After Carnufex carolinensis disappeared toward the end of the Triassic period, Earth didn't stay vacant for long. Nature seemed not yet ready to hand over dominance to the dinosaurs, so even larger and more terrifying descendants of Carnufex began to emerge. If Carnufex was the first dinosaur hunter, then the ultimate apex predator was Postosuchus. Postosuchus was twice the size of Carnufex, measuring nearly 16 ft long, weighing over 2,200 lbs, with a form that resembled a mix between a giant lizard and a modern crocodile. It typically walked on all fours, but when hunting, it could rise onto its powerful hind legs and charge at prey with terrifying force. Its jaws opened like a living steel trap, lined with sharp, serrated teeth built to tear through flesh. Paleontologists believe Postosuchus dominated the Triassic forest's food chain, even preying on early dinosaurs like Carnufex. But Postosuchus was just one of many in its lineage. Across North and South America, and even Europe, there were different versions of these beasts' crocodile-dinosaur hybrids that lurked, stalked, and struck with lethal bites. Their bodies were covered in thick, armor-like scales capable of withstanding bites and claws from rival predators. When speaking of monsters more terrifying than dinosaurs, one cannot overlook Saurosuchus, the top predator of the Triassic. Like the beasts before it, Saurosuchus did not crawl. It walked upright with an erect posture and evolutionary rarity that gave it speed and long-lasting stamina. Saurosuchus could grow up to 20 to 23 ft in length, weigh over 2,200 lbs, and stood tall on 4 powerful limbs that didn't splay sideways like modern crocodiles. Its head, nearly 3 ft long, was reinforced by a thick skull and filled with blade-shaped, serrated teeth like the teeth of a chainsaw. A single bite from Saurosuchus could crush the bones of any herbivorous dinosaur of its time. Saurosuchus was a classic ambush predator, hiding beneath low vegetation or dry mud, its body blending into the red earth of the Triassic. Fossil evidence from the Ishigualasto Formation, one of the world's most famous paleontological sites, shows that Saurosuchus hunted early dinosaurs and may have even practiced cannibalism. The Triassic was a time when life was reborn after the Great Dying, and everything was still experimental. And Saurosuchus was one of nature's most successful experiments. A half-crocodile, half-dinosaur beast that once made the entire planet tremble. But as the Jurassic period began, the climate shifted, food grew scarce, and swifter bipedal predators started to emerge. The arrival of theropod dinosaurs gradually drove Saurosuchus to extinction. Yet its evolutionary legacy lived on through the crocodilian line, continuing for over 230 million years up to the present day. Over a century ago, in ancient sediment layers of North America, paleontologists discovered strange teeth. At first, they were thought to belong to an armored dinosaur, but their size and curvature didn't match any known species. Then came massive armor plates many times thicker than those of modern crocodiles and enormous vertebrae. These puzzle pieces pointed to a completely new creature, unknown in evolutionary history. In 1909, paleontologist William Jacob Holland officially named this creature Deinosuchus. The name comes from the Greek words deinos, meaning terrible, and suchus, meaning crocodile. It means terrible crocodile, and indeed, it truly lived up to it. Deinosuchus was one of the largest reptiles to ever dominate the rivers of the Cretaceous period. Measuring between 26 and 33 ft in length and weighing up to 5 tons, it was twice the size of today's largest saltwater crocodile. This species lived in both freshwater and brackish environments, especially in river deltas, where dinosaurs often came to drink, and that seemingly harmless habit turned out to be a fatal mistake, with a single bite delivering a crushing force of up to 18,000 psi. Even stronger than Tyrannosaurus rex, Deinosuchus could snap a prey's neck in an instant. Its massive teeth, both sharp and thick, were perfectly built for tearing flesh and breaking bone. Deep bite marks found on hadrosaur fossils are clear evidence. Dinosaurs were once prey to this monstrous crocodile. One scientist even joked, if Deinosuchus didn't eat dinosaurs, why did it need to be that big? Deinosuchus didn't just hunt herbivores like Parasaurolophus or Corythosaurus. It was powerful enough to attack armored dinosaurs and ceratopsians, creatures known for their thick plating and massive horns. Some fossil specimens even show bite marks on ancient sea turtle shells, proving that it hunted marine animals as well. Scientists believe Deinosuchus could have held its own against plesiosaurs that dared to enter its estuarine domain. In every ecosystem it inhabited, Deinosuchus was the apex predator, ruling the waters without contest. Deinosuchus disappeared around 73 million years ago, well before the mass extinction at the end of the Cretaceous. Yet it is still considered one of the most successful crocodilian species in evolutionary history. It thrived for nearly 10 million years, adapting perfectly to environmental changes, and left a lasting evolutionary legacy in modern crocodilian lineages. Its distant descendants, like the American alligator and the Central American caiman, still use the same ancient hunting strategy. Stay hidden, wait patiently, and strike in a flash. More than 70 million years have passed, yet that strategy remains nearly flawless, unchanged by time. If Deinosuchus were still alive today, the crocodiles we know would simply be miniature versions of a prehistoric legend that once ruled the waters. When people think of the giants of Earth's ancient past, dinosaurs usually come to mind. But there was one creature that came before even those towering beasts, a predator that even T-Rex might have feared in a face-to-face encounter. This was Fasolasuchus tenax, the final beast, and the ultimate predator of the Triassic period. The species was discovered in the Mendoza Desert region of Argentina, once a parched plain riddled with cracks and scorched by dry winds. The first Fasolasuchus fossils were unearthed in the 1970s, immediately astonishing paleontologists. It wasn't a dinosaur, but a predatory reptile related to ancient crocodiles, only much larger. Fasolasuchus could grow up to 33 to 39 ft in length, weigh over 8 tons, and was the largest known terrestrial carnivore of the late Triassic. Its body was the perfect fusion of crocodilian strength and theropod speed. Its skeleton suggests it could walk on 2 hind legs, a rare trait in its family, giving it a major advantage when attacking large prey. The head of Fasolasuchus was massive and elongated, with jaws lined with dozens of backward curved serrated teeth like a mouthful of inverted meat cleavers. Its bite force was powerful enough to crush a prey's ribs in a single chomp. When hunting, it didn't need to wait long in ambush, just one quick charge. One lethal bite, and its victim would fall instantly. Along its back ran thick, bony scutes, interlocked like armor plates. This earned it the nickname, the Tank of the Triassic. But what made it even more terrifying wasn't just its brute strength, it was how it ruled its territory. Archaeological traces suggest it was a solitary hunter, marking its domain with claw marks and footprints, allowing no other creature to trespass. One would think that with such strength and adaptability, Fasolasuchus would have endured, but fate had other plans. Around 201 million years ago, Earth experienced a global volcanic event known as the End Triassic extinction. Massive volcanic eruptions released enormous amounts of CO2, triggering rapid climate and environmental shifts. Plants vanished. Prey became scarce. High-energy creatures like Fasolasuchus couldn't adapt fast enough and vanished. They disappeared as quickly as they once rose. The death of Fasolasuchus marked not just the end of a species, but the downfall of the entire Pseudosuchia dynasty. From the ashes of the Triassic's giant crocodilian line, the age of dinosaurs officially began. A reign that lasted over 150 million years, during which they evolved, conquered every continent, and left an indelible mark on Earth's history. With many competitors wiped out, dinosaurs rapidly diversified, becoming the dominant terrestrial animals for the next 135 million years. Towering herbivores like Brachiosaurus and Diplodocus ruled the plains, while Allosaurus terrorized the forests. It was during this time that dinosaurs began reaching unprecedented sizes in the history of life. The Cretaceous period, the final chapter in their reign, saw dinosaurs reach the pinnacle of their evolution. This was the age of Tyrannosaurus Rex, the ultimate king. At over 40 ft long, weighing up to 8 tons and delivering bite forces nearing 6 tons per chomp, T-Rex could crush bone in a heartbeat. Dinosaur dominance continued until 66 million years ago, when a massive asteroid struck Earth. The impact, near today's Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, created a crater over 110 miles wide, ejecting billions of tons of dust, ash, and toxic gases into the atmosphere. Sunlight was blocked. Earth was plunged into months of darkness. Temperatures plummeted. Plants could no longer photosynthesize. As vegetation died off, herbivores starved, and then the predators followed. In the end, 75% of all species on Earth went extinct. When the dust finally settled, a buildup of greenhouse gases caused extreme global warming. In a short time, every land animal over 44 lbs was gone. With Fasolasuchus gone, carnivorous dinosaurs like Dilophosaurus, Ceratosaurus, and later Allosaurus rose to take control of the Earth. They were faster, smarter, and better suited to the new climate. But without their predecessors like Carnufex and Postosuchus, those terrifying two-legged hunters might never have existed. In other words, it was the ancient crocodilian bloodline that paved the way for dinosaurs to rise as rulers. The names mentioned above together tell the story of the monsters that once made even dinosaurs tremble before their reign had even begun. Which of these beasts do you think was the most terrifying? Leave a comment below and let us know. Thank you for watching until the end. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It gives us the motivation to keep making even more exciting and high-quality content. See you in the next one.